Word count is not part of the Google algorithm. The fact is, Google doesn't care if you write 200 words or 20,000 words. However, having longer content with more words, if they're valuable, will still help you increase your rankings. Why that is, plus 5 effective ways to add more words and how not to do it, is what we're covering today. My name's Leslie Peterson, and I help professional bloggers stop chasing shiny new trends and grow their business consistently and with a plan. Okay, first, I want to stop all the haters in their tracks and get this out on the table. I am not now, nor have I ever been, a proponent of adding content just for the sake of adding content. When I say that you should write longer articles, I mean you should offer your reader more high-value, helpful, thoughtful, quality content. I'm not suggesting that you use AI or that you stuff your posts with junk or that you put Google's needs above your reader's needs. Quality is always a given on this channel. Deal? Okay, now let's get down to business. Let's start with why you should care about how long your content is, even if Google doesn't care, at least not directly. When you write longer content, you give Google a better understanding of the intention of your article. Use more and more and more terms that are related to your target term, and that helps Google understand what you're all about. So here's a really extreme example. Hot dog. Let's say you have a one-sentence article with the phrase hot dog in it. Now it's going to be really hard to tell if you're talking about the food or if, let's say, you're trying to sell a portable mister to take with you to the dog park in summertime. Like I said, that's a really extreme example. But Google is very nuanced about its search terms. So Omni Hotel Atlanta is a transactional term. It has buyer intent. But Omni Hotel Atlanta at CNN Center is informational and navigational, no buyer intent. So they're assuming that people are either looking for the actual website or they're really just curious about the hotel. Different intention means that Google's going to treat those terms differently most of the time. Another reason it's better to have a longer article is because it gives you a better opportunity to rank for lots and lots and lots of related long tail keywords on that same topic. This is our birthday party places post. It ranks for nearly 4,000 terms and not just the one I was targeting. We rank for terms for 10-year-olds and 5-year-olds and toddlers, and none of these have enough volume to warrant an entire post about just those. But 4,000 of them together means a lot of really great traffic to the site. Now, in my mind, these two reasons are enough, but there are a dozen more reasons to add length to your article that we won't cover, like how it keeps people on your site longer, which is a ranking factor, how it increases your RPM, how longer form content is more likely to show on page 1 and more likely to get shared on social media. So if you're convinced, then let's talk about how to increase your content length, which is just one step in the entire content update process. If you want more detail on this, you can check the link down below, or you can download my free blog post update checklist. Okay, FAQs are my favorite and easiest way to beef up a post. I also like it because they go nicely near the end without disrupting the current layout, and it allows you to reuse some of the same ideas above, but with different wording. If you're looking for a tool to help you with that, I love Surfer. They have an entire section on questions for any given term, but it's a little bit pricey, so you might want to consider using that tool in a group. If all else fails, just type the term into Google and look at the People Also Ask section. Every time you open up one of those questions to read the answer, it offers even more questions. Now, before I share the last 3 update tips, if you're finding this information helpful, please subscribe to this channel where we share new information just for bloggers just like this every week. Next, you can look for complementary long tails and add them to your post as H2s. So I search for the term, see who's ranking at or near the top, and then look at all the other terms that their post is ranking for. You can see here that this site also ranks for terms that include outdoor things, things for couples, hidden gems, famous places. These would all make great new H2s for my posts if they're not already there, which are ideal for adding, again, to the end of the existing content or maybe interspersed where it seems right. A story is another example of how to add girth to your post. Now, this doesn't always work. It has to be a good story, it has to be told well, But your content can always stand out if you can tell of your experience and then really bring it home to the reader. Recipe blogs do this all the time. You've seen the memes, right? I don't care that this was your great aunt's recipe or she stole it from a safe deposit box in a gunfight near the OK Corral. I just want to know how to make this casserole. So yes, you do have to be careful how often and how much. I say use them sparingly. Make sure you tie them back to your main content topic and make them their own. But you can bet that when we went to Fort Bragg, near North Carolina, with my brother-in-law, who's related to Braxton Bragg, well, that story was going in the post. Okay, before I show you an example of what not to do, let me give you one more way to add content to your site, and that's with semantic terms. Now, I use SEMrush to find my semantic terms, and I add these to every post update. Sometimes a term allows me to just extend an existing sentence, and sometimes it demands an entirely new section of the post, but either way, they're always going to get added. When I'm working on a particularly challenging topic, I use a lot of semantic terms, so Google knows exactly what my objective is. You can get long lists of semantic terms from RankIQ, which is the tool I use for my Disney content, for example. Finally, I hate calling anyone out. The universe knows that I am not perfect, and while I do many things right, you could write a book about everything that I've done wrong, but I want to show you an example of what not to do, and I'm going to try really hard to leave their name out of it. This is a post from a very high-performing site about everything to do in Mississippi, and it's really a great post. Now, this is the end of the original post. It's how they end all their posts. I'm sure it was the end of the post, but it became time for an update. They had to add content and expand on their semantic terms. So they added it to the bottom, which generally is a good idea. So while the paragraphs here may read okay, they're not formatted. They have no headers, there's no context, and many of these things could have been added to the things that are already listed above. Yes, they're ranking, and ranking well, but at what price? Is this really helpful to the reader? Does it make sense? If you're ranking well and you want to keep ranking well, you should do content updates, even for those posts that are ranking. But you want to minimize the degree to which you are changing and manipulating your posts. However, please choose integrity and reader satisfaction over feeding the Google monster. You're going to be rewarded. So there's certainly no guarantee, but I feel pretty confident that if they had taken the time to add these extras with the same formatting and forethought that the original article was made with, even if it broke up that original content, they would still be ranking well, and maybe better.